Let me start this video by saying that the refusal rate for startup visa applications is now at 85%. As if this was not shocking enough, did you know that there are over 10,000 applications under review at this time? And more than 4,000 of them will be thrown down the drain as they are all from fake startup ventures that IRCC can smell from miles away. I'll get to these stats later in this video. For now, I'd like to explain a scenario which actually happened. So imagine this, you and your group just got a letter of support, and not just any letter of support, you got one from a priority designated organization. You're celebrating like you've already got your PR in hand, champagne popping, group selfies, maybe even planning your move to Canada. But less than a year later, your business is getting bombarded with questions. IRCC is asking how you even got that letter of support in the first place, and suddenly everything feels like it's coming apart. What happened? Well, that's the part no one wants to tell you, and I'll explain exactly why in a bit. But first, we need to talk about what's really going on with the startup visa program right now. Here's something most people don't know. Out of 82 designated entities, there are now only 76 because at least six of them have lost their designated status, which means 60 letters of support just got thrown down the drain. And at least another seven designated entities are on parole who cannot issue any letters of support while IRCC is reviewing their actions. So that's another 70 letters of support down the drain as well. So now do the math. We are now left with only 690 letters of support per year, which is a drastic drop from 820. And there is a rumor going around that this number could further drop to 620 or so, which means only 62 designated entities will have their designation status intact. So think about this for a second. Why do you think these entities are losing their status? Well, because IRCC isn't asleep at the wheel. That's why. They review these entities regularly, and the ones pushing empty ventures for big fees one after the other, they're just gone. Many players really used the startup visa program to make a lot of money very quickly, and like always, and for obvious reasons, bad players cannot sustain their business for very long. So the natural consequence is to lose status. The sad part is that amidst all of this, it's clients like yourself who are caught in the crossfires for no mistake of yours. So be diligent with your choices, ask questions, and ensure you know who you are working with. Always check to see if anything explained to you makes logical sense, and it's that simple. Anything that sounds too easy and too good to be true quite possibly is too good to be true. And here's the thing, with all the information available online, so many videos giving contradicting information, and a zillion consultants out there with their creative marketing schemes, it's starting to feel like a cult following for some reason with respect to these startup visa applications. If I were looking at the startup visa program today for Canada, I'd probably lose my mind, quite honestly. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with all of this, I absolutely get it. Just know that you're not alone. But let me make it crystal clear here. If there is no real business with paying customers, no early stage revenues, no genuine user traction, and no experienced co-founders, well, there is no startup visa here. Forget Canada, find another PR program, or even another country where you can simply buy your residency or citizenship. Now, you might be wondering, but how do we have revenues when we are outside Canada? Isn't that what the designated entity is for? Well, no. These designated entities are simply your guide and not your doer. They'll support you, yes, but you're the one doing the heavy lifting. Now, the law doesn't give a magic revenue number, but IRCC checks for genuine progress. They can smell a bad deal from a mile away, and people have become very creative in structuring deals that make it seem like the business is genuine. A lot of movement of funds happen to meet the requirement of capital commitment. businesses generating fake revenue streams to make it seem like they are legitimate, and I can go on and on about this. The point is, it's a huge responsibility for IRCC to evaluate who really deserves permanent residency, and they are just doing their job through such extensive due diligence. So don't give them an opportunity to doubt your intentions. The minute they have a small doubt, they'll dig deeper and deeper. And if you truly are associated with a genuine venture, then you have nothing to worry, even if they dig deeper, and that's the position to be in. So if you are chosen as a co-founder for any startup venture, ask yourself this. First of all, does your background even fit the startup venture? For example, if you're an HR manager joining a tech-heavy education tech startup venture with three co-founders in tech and sales already on board, then that's a big red flag. It's a red flag because no startup needs an HR person so early on in the game. So what made them include an HR person and also split equity with this HR co-founder? Just common sense questions, right? Secondly, is the startup actually real? Do they have paying customers who are real and not made up? Do they have real traction? Do they have co-founders with strong track records and experience that complement each other? Or just fake website, some mock-ups, and some made-up numbers? You have to get to the bottom of this before you dive deep in. And here's a little reassurance. If you've got the right background, the startup is genuine and your co-founding team is top-notch, but your letter of support comes from a non-priority incubator, just don't panic. It's not the end of the world. The definition of priority has expanded to include incubators that commit capital. Typically, around 25,000 to 50,000 capital commitment can be expected from incubators depending on revenues. And usually this happens when co-founders are physically present in Canada and they show real progress in scaling the startup. And this is typically done with the help of a business consulting team that works with the co-founders and designated entity. Now, the truth is, the right business and right team matter far more than the priority label. Although, if you have all the right things and a priority incubator support in addition, then that's just the most ideal position to be in. But given the competition and what's happening, we need to be real with our expectations. But yes, there are a few designated entities I would personally stay away from, even if they are still on the designated list, and I do believe they may get delisted by the end of the year, if not sooner. One more thing, stop obsessing over processing times and the backlog. Going back to the stats I mentioned earlier in the video, there are over 10,000 applications right now under review, and more than 4,000 of those are fake businesses. Those will get cleared out soon. And the rest are businesses that are trying to put on a genuine front but are actually not. So in total, only 15% of the SUV applications are going through, as these are the only real genuine ones. So if you are tied to a genuine venture and have an excellent co-founding team, that's all you should be concerned with. PR can take 52 months or more now. You have the opportunity to live in Canada on an open work permit with your spouse and kids. And if needed, this work permit can be extended if PR application takes longer to process. So live your life, make Canada your home, work on scaling your startup in a genuine way, have fun while you're at it, and have a positive mindset overall. Take it one day at a time. Yes, I do get that achieving PR is the goal, but don't obsess over it so much that your life becomes miserable for the duration of your wait to get this accomplished. I also know of ventures that initially got a letter of support from a non-priority incubator, and then a couple of years after applying for PR, they began to target priority incubators to get a new letter of support so they can potentially fast track their PR application. I'm quite honestly not sure how this will work, as the initial incubators listed on the letter of support and commitment certificate has already been sent to IRCC. Only one commitment certificate is sent, even in cases of syndication, when multiple designated entities are involved right from the beginning. So adding a new priority incubator a few years after PR application is submitted could be tricky unless there is a very clear reason for why this is being done at this point. I'd tread this road very carefully as I think it's a huge risk for all the co-founders involved. My point is, don't get caught up on faster processing times, like I said before. IRCC will take their time to ensure your startup venture will bring about economic benefit to Canada before fully approving PR. Now, if you do get your PR approved sooner, then that's amazing. So just have an open mind, put your head down, and keep doing what you have to until your PR comes through. Backlog reduction and processing times are really not in your control, and I really think it's foolish to make life decisions based on factors beyond our control. What's in your control is making sure you invest in the right business and join the right team and ensure you do this perfectly. Now, you remember how we started with you celebrating your letter of support from the priority designated organization? Just know that that moment is just the starting point. Many think that getting the letter of support is the goal, and they do things post letter of support that seriously jeopardize their application, and not jeopardize just for themselves, but for all of the co-founders as well. So make sure you're not in this position. After receiving your letter of support and submitting your PR application is when the real activity begins. You have to keep proving your startup growth to IRCC all the way until your PR is finally approved. So this is just giving you a few highlights from Bluewater Immigration. This year, we have worked with only 6 groups, each with real traction, actual paying customers, and 50,000 to 75,000 in early stage revenues. And these are all real revenues that we can prove. All of our projects have received letters of support from reputed designated entities, and most of the PR applications have been submitted already for all the co-founders. For 2025, we've got just 5 slots remaining for 3 different innovative tech startup ventures that are already pre-approved by designated entities, as they all have early traction and revenues. And these slots will go only to exceptional candidates with senior management level experience or business ownership experience. So if you have any questions on anything I shared here today, let me know in the comments below so when I reply, others can benefit as well. Or book a call if you'd like a more one-on-one consultation with me to discuss if the startup visa could be a fit for you. I wish you the very best to cut through the noise, get the facts, and make the right choice for your future. Thanks and good luck.